So Eric, we're sitting here at a home that you guys just built here in Paradise Valley, which is unbelievable.
Thank you. Yep, just finished it it's been on the market about 6 weeks now.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long did it take to design and build the whole?
This was about a year and a half on this one. Yeah, we face challenges because it's a hillside property, hillside lot, and we're abutted up against a wash here, so we had some tricky things to maneuver around, definitely.
But I assume you guys like those challenges, kind of like figuring out solutions to new problems?
It was challenging, but I'd prefer not to go with the hillside lots anymore, but you know, definitely learned a lot from it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, what I really want to talk about here is we can get into your backstory a little bit, but you guys are doing some really cool content on video, on social media. It seems like you're building something pretty cool, and that's what attracted me all the way from New Jersey to see what you guys are doing, and that's why we're sitting here, because of social media, Instagram. So tell us a little bit about Tinker and what you guys are all about and how you got started and all that.
Yeah, so basically I started in late 2011, 2012. I was introduced to a friend of mine, Casey, who owned a brokerage at the time. He was buying houses on the auction block, and they were doing a lot of remodels on the west side. So I met him at the right time. A partner of his happened to just be, left the company. So it was a good opportunity for me to come in. He asked me if I was interested in running that side of the remodels. So of course I said yes, started doing that. And then as I met more people in the industry that had demands for, additions or, doing small build outs, it needed to be licensed, obviously. I wasn't licensed at the time. So basically I became a broker, right? I was subbing out other contractors. Well, after a while, I'm like, what am I doing? Cutting myself out here,
seeing
right?
Money's,
so
moving around.
So one thing led to another. The remodels kind of slowly started fizzling out. Pursued the license and then started building Arcadia. Doing my first spec.
Nice.
And that was nice because it was more like my own boss. Now I wasn't necessarily doing it for a client. I was able to teach myself at the same time without being under the watch of a client, right? As I was learning this new trade. From the ground up, if you will. So yeah, started building there and then moved up into this area. Had this house and the one next door and just kind of evolved from there.
Wow, so you didn't have a building construction background before?
No. I had a logistical background. So I was always kind of in logistics. So I was good at managing, coordinating. So I think, once I dove in, that kind of came natural, that side of it. And then I just kind of, through mentoring and teaching myself in time, learn the trade. I'm still learning. I mean, every day I'm learning.
That's what's fun about it, right? Then we have a lot of clients who are builders and working for homeowners, working for clients, and most of them want to kind of transition away from that and build their own homes. Because, like you said, you can operate on your own schedule, and you don't have someone watching over your shoulder all the time, right?
Exactly.
So when you started out, was it a conscious decision to kind of build a presence on social media, on digital? Or?
You know what? It wasn't at the time. My company name originated. It was Next Phase Projects, right? So that's my company that is licensed, Next Phase Projects. So it wasn't until recently, probably 2-3 years ago, where I had a meeting with someone, and this gentleman was like, your last name is Tinker. It goes hand in hand. You should market as Tinker. And I said, hey, it's not a bad idea, And so one thing led to another. Started branding as Tinker, and then met my filmographer, and we just started doing. We were shooting here and there, just random miscellaneous things. And it just kind of evolved into, hey, let's grab a cool shot of this, or this part of the process, and just started putting it together, putting it out on social, and just the feedback that we got from it was definitely, heading in the right direction, positive for sure.
What was that specific feedback? What were people saying?
Just it's cool to see the behind the scenes, right?
Awesome.
What's happened, the action, because we're definitely what we are shooting, we want to show the entertaining side of it, right? Not just the a before picture than an after. We wanted to go to the vendor and let's see that behind the scene kind of aspect of it.
People love that.
Yeah, everybody likes to see how things are made, right?
Absolutely.
So just incorporating that with some action, I mean, hey, it's worked out well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, when I first saw Tinker, I didn't know that was your last name until Michelle was like, oh, Erik Tinker? And I was like, oh, that's the last name? That makes sense. Pretty cool. I just thought it was, Tinker, like tinkering around with that. So
Yeah, it goes on.
What exactly, what's your team look like as far as social or content?
So a lot of it's mainly in-house. So in-house, we're providing the content. Then I have a friend, Caitlin, who I work with, who helps out a lot with the social side.
Okay.
A lot of the content mix with the context.
Right.
Right. Because I'm not that good at that side of it because I'm just kind of busy and I'm all over the place. Right. So to sit there and make sure it's kind of out at the same time or consistent, is a little tricky. Yeah.
So she's in-house doing your posting and everything like that.
Exactly.
So that's great because most owners of construction companies, builders are like, oh, I'm too busy, I don't have the time, and they just don't do it. But you see the importance of it, and you're like, all right, well, it has to be done. We want it to be done.
Right. And I see a lot of people that are, stories have really taken off.
Yes.
Right. That's one thing I think moving forward that I would like to engage more with is doing stories.
Yep.
It's just, I know it's time consuming again, but I think it's just taking that effort or that time of the day out, set aside to focus on that and engage more. I would like to, a goal of mine for social media, not as much as content, is just maybe engaging more one-on-one with the vendors and, vendors and customers, clients, potential clients.
Yeah, stories like we were just talking about on the way over here. We see that stories get probably double the amount of views or like engagement as like just a post.
Sure.
And when we post something on Instagram without like stories kind of coordinating with it, it doesn't get as much engagement as if you have 10 stories that day. And it's we don't have attention span. So people are like, oh, 15 seconds? Yeah, I could do that. Let me just click and check that out.
Yeah, we noticed too the engagements we're starting to utilize microvids. Right? Because like you said, I think videos do get a lot more engagement.
Yeah.
Versus just a still photo. Right. Time lapse are pretty popular. I think it's kind of like, I don't know if you want to compare it to the slime videos, all those kids are mesmerized by slime videos, but I think it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
You see a cool time lapse video or a short micro video, right? It's just, it engages you more.
Yes. And it's good that you realize that because we see a lot of like contractors, they'll do like the drone flyover video that's just like kind of slow and boring, or just like some random like walkthrough that's all shaky and everything. And like, that's not really, it's good that they're doing it, but it's not really doing anything for their
No, I think it's 80% of it's the editing.
Yeah.
20% is the shooting.
Editing takes
Editing,
so much
you can
time.
take a standard shot and edit it and make it look 10 times more interesting than just a raw footage.
Absolutely. And I noticed when I first started following you guys, probably like 6 or 8 months ago, you had like some cool video, and then you go like to YouTube and you see that the videos didn't have very many views.
Right.
And now you go and it's like 12,000 views, 13,000. What changed there?
I think it took traction with running the right SEOs. Again, Caitlin, she's the one that specializes more in the SEOs.
Good.
I still don't really understand
the strategy behind that.
The strategy behind that, exactly. They just kind of caught traction and took off, which is cool. So it's almost like I feel like we're kind of almost obligated now. People are like, when's the next one coming out? Or when's the next episode coming out? Now it's like, oh, okay, we got to keep rolling.
Yes.
Like I said, we have a ton of footage, filed away, because we've been doing this for a year and a half.
Yeah, so you just have
because it's got to work around our schedules. Because building comes first, obviously.
Yeah, there's YouTube channels that I follow, and like you'll see someone's like consistent for 2 months, and then they kind of go dark for a month or two. And you're like, man, I wish they would.
Keep going.
More. Like you keep up with what's going on. So.
And I still don't know. There's people that post multiple times in a day. I think for me, I don't feel I ever need to do that. That's where I think the stories, like I said, those stories will come in. It's just if people want to follow you or see more of what's going on behind the scenes, that's again where those stories will really come in handy.
Stories are a way to like have a little bit more fun. Like you can just kind of let down your guard a little bit. Show off your personality, and if you just get into the habit of doing it, whether it's setting an alarm on your phone for every hour, do a story, just to get in that habit of doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for me, it's more not worrying about what people think at all. Right? I've kind of always that's been my. I've grown up that way, kind of worrying about what people think, but it wasn't till I don't know, last few years. I just do it. It makes me happy, and
Yeah.
put it out there. If someone doesn't like it, then oh well.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
just for anybody. I mean, just keep doing what you love, and
you can tell that.
And put just do what you love, and the rest will fall into place.
You'll attract the right people
Right.
that want to work for you and everything. So on that note, so you guys are building pretty much only spec, or
No, I'm doing custom.
Okay.
As well. Yeah.
So have you had clients come to you because of your content or from social media, or?
I've had a few people. Okay. I've had a few people. One lady actually the other day, she reached out to me. It's kind of funny. She said told me her dog's name was Tinkerbell.
Okay.
And that the dog was her soulmate. Therefore, I was meant to be her builder. Wow. My last name's Tinker. It's like, okay, hey, whatever works for you, right? So little things like that.
Okay.
Little, I've had people definitely not as much where they find me on social media and then inquire directly just to build a house. It's more if I come across the client and we're during developing stage or whatnot, they'll look at my page and then see it, and then start opening up dialogue about that. It just opens it up. Yeah, get excited about it.
Right.
For example, I have a client that I'm just getting ready to start on, and we're going to be utilizing the SWAT team for some things. Cool. Can't divulge too much information, but so there's there's fun things that we definitely incorporate. Right. With clients, the clients get to see as well.
Right. So I assume you want to work with like fun clients.
Exactly.
That you enjoy working
That's the
with,
thing.
so.
Yeah. The beauty is too, I don't have to take on every job. Right. It's definitely, I have to have that connection too. Just like they do, right? They have to entrust in who they're going to pick to build their house. Yep. Or, they want to feel comfortable, trust in that person. Likewise, right? Yep. I'm going to fill it out, and if I get that good feeling, I'm going to build their house for them. Yeah.
It's a huge thing when you just said you don't have to take on.
You don't have to. And a lot of people, I think, I'm even guilty of it. When I first started, I took on more than I could. Yep. But I was so motivated and driven to be successful that fear was implemented in me. Like I wasn't going to fail. Right. So I took on a ton of remodels, and it backfired on me. Right. I didn't have that control, the one-on-one attention. And so I just kind of put the brakes on, reevaluated everything, and just kind of started fresh and just had that mentality like, you know what, I'm just going to do this at my pace and learn and be the best that I can be. And then the rest is kind of just falling into place. Right.
That's happened to me in my business as well. You're starting out, you just take on whatever you can and figure it out. And then you kind of evolve and you realize, all right, well, there's more profitable clients, there's more enjoyable clients that I want to work with. Some of these may not be the right fit, or we're not able to even add a lot of value. Right. And so just not worth doing at all. Yep, exactly. So when you get to that point, like I'm sure the snowball effect of what you're doing will continue to grow, and you'll be building your brand even more, where people will be contacting you guys and saying like, hey, love your stuff, I want you to build my house. Yeah. And that's the goal, right? I mean, for me is, also doing these videos, I guess you can say the bigger it is or the more eyes they get on this, right? Yep. It gives me better chances to, if I'm doing a spec, that, when I'm done with developing it, the design phase, or I'm done with the design phase, that I can put a post out about that, and that maybe somebody does see that. Yep. And then that just helps the chances of someone coming in early and buying that home, right? Because the goal of a spec home, I mean, I would think, is to sell it, pre-sell it, right? Even before you're done. Some people, get a little nervous because they don't want to, maybe if you sell it too early, then the clients come in, they want to change everything, and it can become a headache. But I'm not concerned about that. I just would rather buy the property, start developing it, and if somebody wants to take it over, so be it, right? Yeah. I mean, that's the goal. I could free up that cash, move on to the next one, and then I could just treat them then as a build-to-suit, custom, normal customer, right? Perfect. And build it. So that side doesn't bother me. So the more eyeballs you get, the more of a brand you're building, the more you're going to have of that, where people are coming. Exactly. Yep. How about team-wise? Have you gotten to the point where other people are seeing your content like, whether it's a subcontractor or a project manager, like, I want to work with you guys. You guys
I do get some inquiries. Yeah, once these videos come out, they see the explosions, or I'd love to do that on your team.
Yeah.
Maybe they think it's more fun than work, which is not the case. I mean, it's definitely fun. But on the day to day, this is work. You know, like I said, building comes first, right? Because without the building, there's no video, anyways.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, it's not all the glamour of social media.
So I have to kind of turn those, a few of those down, obviously, and I know they're just, people inquiring and want to join. Probably, maybe some of them just want to blow somebody up or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. The Porto job, whatever it was that you guys blew up.
Dan. That was Dan.
Yeah, because as you grow, like we see a lot with our clients, even ourselves. Like it can be the constraint to growth can be finding those key people to really like be project managers or do whatever that you need to get done.
Right.
So being able to cast a big net, put your brand out there, and attract the right people, that can be a huge benefit of social media.
Right.
As well.
And that's one thing I've also done as well is keeping overhead low, right? So keeping the team smaller again, and then having that balance. So like my wife, she's my accountant, for example. So it's just entrusting people, right, and not having that turnover. I've had other accountants and kind of evolves, and they end up leaving, and you have to retrain them,
right? So
it's like a good opportunity. My wife came in, I was like, hey, perfect, work for who better to work for you, right? You trust your own wife.
She doesn't leave.
Right. And then keeping everything tight, and then like I said, not taking on too much, because then that's how you can do, or at least for me, I could have smaller margins, right? Profit margins, because my overhead's lower, and not have to take on as much. Right? So I'd rather take on less and have smaller margins, I think, than try to take on again, get myself in a situation where I bit off more than I can chew.
Yeah, and then you're
and I don't think at this level you can afford to do that.
I was just going to say, you can't afford to.
It's one thing on the little remodels, you lost a little bit of money here and there, but not.
Can't afford to lose the money. You can't afford
not at this level. That would be.
You can't afford to not service the client who's going to want that high level of service.
You already already lose a little bit of sleep.
Oh yeah. Totally.
These houses are close to $4 million, and it's not like they just fly off the shelves.
Right.
Like maybe
tied up,
like in this area, you build a $500,000 house, or even upwards of $1 million, they fly off the shelf down here, in Arcadia, just south of here.
Right.
But yeah, that's not the case at these price points.
Yeah. So you guys have been in business like 7-8 years or so.
7-8 years, yep.
What's next for Tinker? Like what's the big vision?
You know what? I just honestly right now I'm having fun. I just take one day at a time. I'm not trying to look too far in the future. I'm just trying to learn my craft.
Okay.
Every day, like I said, I'm learning something new every day. It's just mastering this craft because I'm so passionate for it.
Right.
It starts with the passion. Anybody I hire, I want them to have passion before anything else.
Right.
Because if you don't have the passion, what good is ambition or, drive if you don't have the passion? It doesn't come across.
Or if they have the skills but not the passion.
Right.
Like you can train the skills.
You want somebody to love, or I do, because I do. I love waking up. There's never a day where I'm like, darn, I have to go to work, and that's good.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I'm lucky, to be able to do this. But anybody that, works for me or that I bring on, I want them to have that same feeling. They love to get up and, one of my favorite things is framing. When you have your foundation, the framing starts going up. It's like, okay, the shell.
Yeah.
The shell is being built. Now it's time to let's put it together. Because you have plans and drawings, you develop it, and then putting it to fruition is cool. You just seeing this come to life, and it's like, okay, and seeing the excitement that that it's going to bring to a future buyer, right? I've had neighbors come up, thanking me. I'm like, for what? For building a nice house in our neighborhood.
Awesome.
These houses that were here in place were not late 50s.
Okay.
So kind of run down, and no one really took care of them. So of course now the neighbors in this area, they see they're bringing the neighborhood up, and it's like not an eyesore, right?
Yeah. So yeah, this is really exciting to see not only what you guys are building physically, but what you're building virtually, digitally, on social media. Really exciting to see companies in the construction industry do that sort of content. Construction industry to me, I grew up in it, and you've got experience in it. It's like a few years behind the times when it comes to like digital marketing, social media. So that's really exciting. A lot of our clients, builders, contractors, construction companies, want to get into social. They want to be doing content, and they just don't know what to do, where to get started. What would be your top recommendations without giving any trades?
I would recommend that if they don't like putting out there the context, maybe doing the context side of it, that they just have a camera with them, right? If it's a good cell phone, or because cell phones nowadays, some of these newer ones take awesome pictures, right? Or just taking photos throughout the process, right? If it's still photos or video, I'm not, I leave that to to Mr. Ryan. But just tracking what you're doing, your day to day.
Right.
Just, some shots that you might not think are that interesting, a lot of other people will.
Right.
So I guess like I said before, just do what you love,
And document it and show people.
Document it,
your passion.
And don't worry about, having to put out, too many posts a week, or, don't look, just take smaller steps. Like, okay, find that cool shot, put it out there, move on to the next one. Don't worry about how often or, how much content can you get out there. Just focus on the ones that make you feel good about, and the rest, and that comes through.
People
right?
can sense when you're passionate about it and you're sharing.
You can tell when you're, exactly.
Yeah, we have a client who he always says, I love to share what I do, and that's why I share on social, and he gets clients because of it, but that's not really his primary.
Right.
So, and I think you really nailed it by saying you don't have to take on every project, every job. You're in the position where you can pick and choose, and that's obviously a testament to the work that you do, but also because of what you're doing online and building that brand.
Sure.
So, keep up the good work.
Thanks, man. And like I said, I'm not perfect by any means, and I still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Like, on the stories. Like I said, I want to focus more on stories. Where I can showcase mini clips throughout the day, if people are interested in seeing that, right? Yeah. So, that's, like you said, that's relevant in today's social media. So, and engaging with, for me, like I said, vendors or suppliers and potential clients, opens the door up. So,
it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, thanks for coming out too, by the way.
Thanks for the time, Erik.
Yeah.